Commentators are constantly forced to reach for the same descriptions. They call him magical. They call his play miraculous. He is treated as an inevitable force of nature. To even have a chance of stopping him, opposing teams are told they must execute a flawless tactical system. They have to play a perfect 90 minutes, because a single misstep usually means the game is over. Managers spend weeks building complex defensive architectures. They deploy elite, world-class center backs, specifically tasked with boxing him in on the touchline. Yet time and time again, those carefully designed systems shatter. When the entire footballing world knows exactly what he wants to do, professional defenses should be able to react, yet they remain powerless. His dominance stems from a predictable exploitation of physics and human psychology, a system of tactical optimization that makes his success feel inevitable. To understand how this works, look at what happens before he even touches the ball. His attack usually begins in moments of apparent inactivity. He walks, he scans, he intentionally lulls the defensive backline into a false sense of security. This is a schematic of his off-ball movement. He is constantly hunting for spatial vacuums, dynamic areas where defensive attention drops because the ball is 30 yards away. He waits for the split second a defender's focus shifts to the ball, triggering his acceleration into space. Once the ball arrives at his feet, the mechanics shrink down to the micro level. A simple drop of the shoulder is deployed to manipulate the defender's body weight, forcing their momentum entirely in the wrong direction. That slight biomechanical deception is completely calculated. It buys him the critical half a yard of space he needs to operate. True offensive danger at this level rarely comes from running the fastest for 90 straight minutes. It comes from manipulating the opponent's perception of safety, engineering wide open space out of thin air. Focusing entirely on his goal scoring ignores his most strategically dangerous asset, his gravitational pull on the defense. Take the World Cup semifinal against Croatia. Highly rated defenders like Joško Gvardiol are forced into desperate, isolating one-on-one situations on the edge of the box. By drawing the opposition's physical structure toward himself, he inherently breaks their formation. The backline collapses inward to deal with him, leaving structural vulnerabilities elsewhere. He punishes that broken structure by delivering perfectly weighted passes to teammates in those vacated red zones. In these moments, he operates purely as the architect. He might not get the final touch, but he effectively makes the goal through spatial manipulation. Defending him becomes a zero-sum game. Committing the heavy physical resources required to stop him mathematically guarantees an opportunity for the rest of his team. Of course, there are times when he decides to take the shot himself, and that introduces the final phase of the attack, inescapable precision. He operates within extreme close quarters, in heavily congested penalty areas where the margin for error is measured in literal millimeters. He finds the exact angle required to slip the ball past defenders. What separates his finishing is the consistency of this execution, regardless of the stakes. He applies the same geometric precision whether he is securing his 600th club goal against elite European opposition or burying a stoppage time winner to salvage a match. Commentators have called him Little Mr. Dynamite for a reason. He generates sudden, explosive ball-striking power with virtually no physical wind-up, giving goalkeepers zero time to read his body mechanics. The spatial mastery and the playmaking gravity are merely the setup phases. His technical precision takes those microscopic tactical advantages and turns them into reality on the scoreboard. When you zoom out from the micro-tactics, you start to see the macro-level impact of this hyper-efficient processing. We are looking at a system optimized and executed across more than 1,000 professional games. Most athletes decline as their physical attributes fade, but because his playmetry rather than sheer pace, he is able to effectively turn back the clock year after year. This operating system works universally, maintaining its effectiveness from his prime European club years dominating at Camp Nou through his later career phases. He broke long-standing international records and secured the World Cup, providing the definitive proof of his system's efficacy beyond his total career goals. This level of tactical intelligence often appears to the world as inexplicable magic, an intellectual mastery of the game that cements his status as a singular, unrepeatable force in history.